What's up everyone, Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games as well as 1 replay review. So let's get right into it. Here we are in game number 1. So goal for this video is just to go with the flow. So I want to continue improving my way of doing speed flips. I'm going to take time here. Try to make them awkward here. Grab this boost. It's just a good flick. I mispositioned that. So what I could do differently is kind of like, first things first is just recognize mistakes. Just pushing too tight there. Once I turn upfield, that's the mistake there. Not really threatening. That's okay. Try to put a shot on. I don't know if they're going to get there in time. Be careful to turn upfield here. Let's try to be careful about the position here. I put a shot on target. It's gonna be hard for them to save. Play out to in. Or rather, in to out. Unfortunately, I lose that challenge. I'm gonna turn away. Nice. Force the opponent out. Here, fake here. Grab this boost. Kind of cross here. Of course, that home goals, that's done. Definitely pretty good skill player. Nothing I could do there. Yeah, so main thing is like I'm just trying to play faster with my kickoffs. That's something I've been improving on. Against a very skilled opponent like this, it's not necessarily going to translate. This guy has very, very good control. He's going to get another goal. Yeah, just going to keep trying. Even if I lose this game, still going to keep trying. Alright, so that was well played. I expected him to go for a fake there. But I kind of misplayed the timing there. I'm just going to take advantage of that. Even if it was a little awkward for me, that's fine. Maybe a delay. Okay, that trips him up. we go. And we get that boost. Good. Definitely against a very underranked player, but all good. Tried my best though. Fortunately, sometimes your best isn't enough, but you still try. Here we are in game number 2. Just gonna keep going with the flow, regardless of how games go. Nice. Very good control. An own goal, unfortunately. Need to not do that. So the mistake really is just, well, two things. One, that touch into the air, and the second thing is the way I'm committing. I don't know why I jumped for that, honestly. Really don't know why I jumped for that. Just wasn't thinking at all. So the adjustment is I need to think more. Because being thoughtless is how you get scored on. Nice. By thinking there, got myself into a better spot. I like that adjustment. Let's just keep these adjustments going. It's got to be fluid. Here we go. Just trying to play it fast. I make the mistake there, and then I just play it across and it works. That's fucking hilarious. Oh boy. Can't really commit to the play more than I already have. There's already good defense. It's gonna bounce. Yeah, I lost the play once I conceded the space and just gave it to him. Once I did that, I lost the play. Take time now. Let's play it smart. Gotta force them awkward. Not a good shot. Could have done that better. Got more power. There it just has to do with the timing of how I flip and when I flip. Nice. Well played. Okay. Nice, dude. Let's go. Well played. Rough first game. Definitely against an underranked dude. I'll probably go on our all tracker later and take a look and see what that guy was, because that guy was clearly not same rank, but this guy was a GC, and this is happening more and more often that I'm finding myself beating GC, so that's good. That's definitely a good sign for me. I feel good knowing that. Here we are in the replay portion of the video, and this was I'm not gonna lie, this is a really fun game. This was a fun game for a bunch of reasons. Firstly, definitely continued on with the flow, making adjustments. Unfortunately missed that corner boost, but honestly it works just because of the position. I was able to kind of keep pushing it. Unfortunately didn't get the flick I wanted, but it still does put like the line pressure. There, I only went for that when I did, seeing that there was just that moment of like lack of control from the opponent. Here, trying to go like in to out, recognizing the opponent was in a position where it's just dangerous. So here, grabbing that mid boost, trying to cut across here, just being present in the play, just to make sure the opponent doesn't have that free opportunity. They're going to go for another musty, because why not? Here, good clear off the wall. Opponent is going to come across. It's a good bump here. And then pop it behind him. So this is actually a really, really good play for a bunch of reasons. The first reason is this fake here. The opponent is expecting the 50-50. This fake is really powerful because not just the fact that they're expecting it, but if you committed to the 50, what would happen is that you would 50 it like this, and likely I would be on this side of the ball, on the left side of the ball, which is favorable for him. You know why? Because this pinch point here and this pinch point here means the ball is going to go my way, or rather my goal side way. So that's going to push this way. And so potentially, you know, worst case scenario, straight into net, but still relegates a potential possession play because I'm facing upfield. So I'd be facing this way. He'd be facing this way, going into the play. I'd be going out of the play. I lose momentum. So this fake is really massive because it bumps. Also, that leads to the bump, and it also just leads to the control that I was able to exert on the play. That's good pressure management, and just being able to recognize the opponent was kind of played tight there, and that was well played. Didn't really get the best kickoff there. Unfortunately, it was really slow there. I mean, it happens. I grabbed this pad. I waited to the very last second because I wanted to wait as late as possible to go for the aerial, recognize and just watch like peripherally if the opponent is going to jump. So try to pay attention here if the opponent, like they had plenty of boost, so I knew that. But I wanted to wait until I knew it was in a position where the opponent would likely have to jump, and this is the moment that I chose, and I'm glad I did because I just waited. Opponent stays on. And then again, another goal because the opponent kind of makes himself awkward here. He half committed here. This is dangerous for a lot of reasons because if you half commit in this position, half committing is worse than not committing at all or just fully committing. If you half commit and you don't know what you want, that uncertainty is going to put you in bad positions because you're not going to be able to actually like be sure what you want. That's called hesitation. We call that hesitation in the sporting space. That hesitation is dangerous. for this exact reason. He hesitated and he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And he got caught between, do I 50? Do I not? Well, you don't have time to think like that and think that much in the middle of a play. Not when it's this close quarters. When there's a lot of distance between the balls and the players and there's a lot of things moving around, yeah, you may have time to think. But in these close quarters exchanges, you do not want to be like wasting time trying to figure out what to do. You need to be committing to a certain play type. If it's a bad play, then learn why it's a bad play. Learn from the mistake. If it's a good play, reinforce that with good habits. Here, this kickoff goal was actually really funny. Because I bumped him into it. He was trying to flip it out of the way, and I bumped him, which actually led to the ball just getting like blasted towards his net, which I'm not gonna lie, I found really funny. I found funny in the moment. I got a good chuckle out of it in that game, or in this game rather. Almost actually had another kickoff win again. Just unfortunately popped it a little high. This is kind of an awkward setup. Could have maybe. So get this pad. Even like if I did an air roll, it just would have been really awkward. Maybe if I did an air roll, I could have like used air roll at the very last second and maybe just gone to air roll left just to kind of just get on the left side of the ball and just pop it like that. And that would have gotten a little bit more of a center touch and actually would have been a little less like upward. So that would have worked fine. I don't mind the patience here, just to try to see what the opponent was going to do. I wanted to see if I could force him to bite, trying to force the bump, just again, being present in the play, just forcing presence. Here, the opponent's kind of awkward here, just taking time. I saw they were backwards, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to take my time. Didn't really get a touch here. This is an awful touch, though. Great save from the opponent. Grab this boost here, trying to rotate back. Also, just kind of recognize, like, being ready to pop out, so trying to go out to in. The reason I'm going out to in this position is because I'm trying to expect potentially if the opponent goes for a wall play, I need to go out to in so then I can shadow into out. If I don't put myself wide of it in that moment, then it's hard to challenge. But because I saw the opponent just stay on the wall and the ball just basically drifted like that, that's why I kept the distance the same and I just essentially shadowed. I didn't push further out and gave all the space. There's a level of space that works for the play, and that's why I did it the way I did. So watch it back and you'll see. So here, you can see the play, recognize, lost this, go out to in, but the ball is still in this kind of, like essentially parallel. So the ball is like parallel, going like, say this is the wall, the ball is going like this. And because I'm seeing the ball go like this and it's not being hit into my goal side, into the midfield essentially, or the midline, because it's going parallel, that's what I'm reading, and I'm seeing that it's not threatening, and that's why I stay close. I'm essentially shadowing and staying parallel with the line, the momentum of the ball. That's why I played it that way. That was my rationale in the moment. Get a touch there off corner. Just playing patient here, just trying to see if I could force the opponent to bite. Little flick of the right joystick just to try to get vision of the opponent. Bad 50. This is definitely, I understand the reason why trying to place for the 50. But I should not be this wide, because by being this wide, you see how I'm in a position where the opponent can also, besides the fact that I'm also like, look at it this way. I'm hitting it from the left. That's one problem. Two, the opponent is hitting it from a higher point in the ball with momentum through the flip. And so what's happening is that they're able to power through it with height. And that's what causes the 50 to lose that way. So just, it's something to be aware of in that position. It's the idea, the decision to go for a 50 is totally fine. Just the actual execution of that was poor. Good shot from the opponent. I was just awkward here. Honestly, could have actually gone for this 50 here. I just hesitated. Again, you see how hesitation loses you moments and loses you interactions? That's an example. I hesitated. I wasn't sure. Came across here. Thought they were going to get contact. They didn't until the last moment. Again, if I didn't hesitate and I went for that 50, totally would have been fine there. Much more fine. Here, just immediately rotate back just to make sure I'm in a safe spot, covering the high percentage. So just in case the opponent goes for a shot, opponent tries to go for the ceiling play. At that point, I'm like, okay, well, here, what I want to do is come off wall from the backboard, get control, and then flick it so that way I can bring the ball into a safer position for me offensively, so I can get a counterplay. So this was the reason I went for this pinch, because I wanted to bring it back to my essentially my corner. The problem is the fact that I went across like this and the opponent had an easy time, and there was zero effort that you need to put in at that point. If I want to play it this way, a really safer position is just not doing anything here and just like staying and shadowing, just like I did in that other play when I was coming across like this and then just staying back and shadowing parallel to the wall. Could do almost the same thing. Start to go outward to see if the opponent is going to try to bang it off the wall. If they are, then you want to kind of be in a position where either you go, like, say for example, if they bang it out like this, then you kind of cover and then you bring it to the corner. Another way is if you go out to in, for example, is you stay kind of parallel to this, and then you see that they're coming over like this. Say they're coming across like this. You stay along this pad lane, and you go out to in, and then you could bring it across. That's another method there. Those are options there that are safer, in theory, safer than what I did there, which is, of course, what led to that goal. So just a poor play in that position. That's what led to that. So there, just mentally recover. Just take a second. I was like, okay, recognize the mistake, but keep the flow. You know, go for a delay here. I wanted to win the kickoff just to kind of force the timing change. Here, go for a potential bump just to kind of keep that pressure. Opponent gets a good flick here. See, it's off target, so bang that over. Here, just playing safe here. Letting the opponent try to overcommit by flipping. You see how, like, watch how much the opponent's flipping. So here, they flip and then just puts themselves in a weird spot, and yeah, they can 50 it, but it's just not super safe, you know, because at that point, like, if I played this a little bit better, easily would have been more dangerous. This is great though. Great offensive pressure. The way you manage is if you make a mistake on the flick, say if you can't get the flick to recover, and you see how, like, it kind of starts to drift off the front of the car, immediately you need to either do one of two things: do what I did there, or prepare for a 50-50. In the moment, I knew that a cut because the opponent was far away. If the opponent was closer and ready to challenge, prepare for the 50. That's the safer high percentage play. That's what you want to be careful about. So that's why I popped here. I then just got the side cut here, and that's what led to that play working as well as it did. So again, just little things you want to kind of keep in mind for your games. Not a great kickoff. Again, trying to improve my speed, just trying to be faster with the setup. And then here, just bang it across. Trying to make sure it's in a position that's not super dangerous. Here, flipping, not even flipping really, just jumping back, putting myself in a good spot. This is a great shot though, by the way. Like, really clean off the wall. That's exactly the kind of shot you need to be doing though. Take those shots, opportunities when you can, and just go for it. So watch it back a little bit. So here, jump back. You see how I'm like already facing backwards towards my goal side? The reason I did that is so that way, if I needed to, I could be ready to just immediately shadow. Yes, I was a little far for this play. Definitely, if I were just trying to purely shadow this from a shadowing perspective, I'm too far from the play, because this is, I'm pushing back a bit. But the reason I'm pushing back is I'm seeing the opponent is trying to come off wall here and immediately try to set up for an air dribble. High or low percentage doesn't matter to me in the moment. Like, in the moment, it really did not matter. I was more focused on the fact and the potential for a threat. The person in the beginning of the game went for two very high power musties. If they just went for a musty flick, they could easily get power though. And that told me that I needed to be in a position that was safe. So they lost control here. And this nice, like, backboarding double tap, definitely good. Definitely a good shot. It's the kind of shot you just need to score when you can. Take that extra point, because being up 3 this time, you know, this much time in the game, anything can happen, but you still want to be in a good spot. Here, just took time. I recognized it was better not to over push. A common habit and a mistake as well that I see people make is, in this play, they push past the front post. And that's what the opponent wants you to do. They want you to push past front post, because what's going to happen is if you push, like, over here, or even close, God forbid, to this pad here, guess what? Ooh, it goes right over you. And all the opponent has to do is just backboard read it, boom, free shot. Straight in the goal. But because, get back to player view, because I took my time I recognized, and I stopped perfectly. And I knew to exactly wait for that pop, and that's when I went. That's what I did, and I'm glad I did it that way because I was done really, really well. Opponent staying aggressive. Here, just trying to take time, just kind of watching for a potential bump play. It was a little awkward here. And then here, just again, taking time, just trying to keep the pressure for the play, go for a flick, come across here. And then what I wanted to do here, of course, this is the last goal in the game. The opponent was just what they weren't thinking, and they gave possession away, like very clearly. Just got a bad touch there. I can tell what they probably wanted was to take it up the wall, and then place it. But the problem is they popped it out, and they have no recovery. Because now they're awkward, they're trying to come off wall, and I already have momentum to play, and get a free shot. And that's what ends the game. So one of the things I'm really happy about in this game, and just throughout this video, is the fact that I mentally told myself to just continue adjusting. Even in the first game where I got smoked by the guy who was obviously very clearly a better player, just I could tell from their control, mechanics, and awareness, like there's just obviously they were a much higher skill player, and that's not to disrespect myself, that's just the fact, right? Like a champ versus a high GC or a good GC, it's still, you know, it's not an easy fight. Is it a fight? Yeah. Is it an easy one? No. You know, and that's just kind of the nature of these things. But the second game and this last game, this third game, definitely I'm glad I made the adjustments that I did. I felt good with it, and that's what I want to do. I want to keep that up. If you want me to review your games, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Speed D Man out.